Why young people don't like speed dating. In ancient times, people's marriage was not determined by themselves, but the words of a matchmaker ordered by their parents. Even if your parents betrothed you with someone you don't like or even hate, they have no choice but to be with each other. Therefore, the marriage life of many people in ancient times was very unfortunate. But now, such a situation has changed a lot. Modern people pay attention to free love. They can choose the object of their love, but on the contrary, the object becomes harder to find. Blind dates have become one of the ways for parents and elders to help young people get rid of being single, but it seems that such a method cannot be liked by everyone. Why do more and more young people hate blind dates? Blind dates always make people feel awkward. For many young people, blind dates are not necessarily a good thing that can really get them out of the singles. On the contrary, it may make them feel awkward all the time. Because both men and women in the blind date process know that they and each other may be going to be a couple, so in many cases they will be relatively unwilling to let go. Moreover, in the blind date, everyone did not know anyone before, but they had to talk about some particularly intimate and private topics, which would inevitably feel embarrassing. It's rare to encounter the type of person you really like during a blind date, and most people forcefully eat and chat with people they don't like. Isn't it embarrassing? Blind dates are easy to meet strange people. In the blind date game, you can meet all kinds of weird characters, and have all kinds of things to refresh your three views and bottom line. After all, a lot of good men with a more normal outlook have already had a target, and only those strange and undesirable men who are not normal still stay in the blind date market. Therefore, it is actually very difficult to meet a more normal or good man on a speed date. Many young people do not like blind dates in order to avoid encountering some weird people to make themselves unhappy. The target of the blind date has no emotional basis. In the eyes of many contemporary young people, blind dates are actually another way of matching the words of their parents. In their eyes, this is a kind of kidnapping marriage. Most of the male and female couples who met because of blind dates did not have any emotional foundation. The two people just forcibly stayed together because of the right conditions in the eyes of outsiders. This kind of improvised marriage is seldom truly happy, and it is not liked by contemporary young people who are seeking self and freedom. Therefore, young people tend to be disgusted with speed dates. Free love in modern city. Nowadays, the mind is relatively open, and it's not the old society anymore. In the eyes of young people, of course, when they get married, they are looking for people who like each other. Fate is very important. But what is a blind date? A marriage transaction is very impure, but just old. The bad habits of society, this is a blasphemy of love, of course it cannot be tolerated. Because in the consciousness of many people, most of the men and women in the blind date are crooked, they are all eliminated, and there are only men and women left. Most of the young people in this era have higher hearts than the sky, they are quite willing to marry the best, if they want to marry the most beautiful, enter the blind date market, it is not equivalent to admit that they are the rest, no one do you want it, lose your value. Too realistic. Nowadays, blind dates are basically clearly marked prices. Where is the marriage transaction? It is the buying and selling of the population. Good conditions come first. Money is the first priority. It pays more attention to external conditions. As for the inner soul, who cares? But marriage is a lifelong matter. If you think of someone you may not be familiar with for a lifetime, let's forget it. Isn't it good to be alone? In conclusion, although in the eyes of most young people, blind dates are not their preferred way of choosing a spouse, and many young people are also disgusted with blind dates. But we cannot deny that there are still many young people in life who have found the closest and most suitable person in their lives through blind dates. There are always many ways to meet love. How do you know that blind dates are not your exclusive way to meet your love?